Breaking news, baby dolls! PulseChain, pDAI, secret prophecy updates are actually happening right now. We're going to speak about something called the Exodus and some potential buy pressure for pDAI. Yes, I do have underpants on my head. And I got actually my first request. One of you baby dolls actually requested, please, Sommi, please, stop sniffing ladies' underwear on video. No! Friends, if you meet anybody in my life, they'll probably tell you, one of the many thousands of things they'll tell you about me is just be very careful when you tell Sommi not to do something. Just be very careful. How you word it, how you frame it, be very careful, okay? So, PulseChain, pDAI, before we even dive in, let's hear from Richard Hart. Okay, when you hear these clips, your brain is going to do that whole, you know, friends, you know that euphoria, euphoric explosion. Let's listen to Richard Hart. There are two clips from here. Richard Hart told us the PulseChain plan from day one. Let's listen to Ricardo here. Let's actually listen to him.
OpenSea's making a killing. Let's go make that better. Hey, MetaMask making a killing. Let's go make that better. Hey, there's 1,000 new trading pairs that need listed. Oh, let's go make that better. Oh, we could have encapsulated stakes on other chains. All right, let's go do that. Hey, you know, stablecoins have too much counterparty risk. Let's go fix that. Hey, you know, stablecoins have too much counterparty risk. Let's go fix that.
What? He just told us. He told us stablecoins have too much counterparty risk. Let's go fix that. Yeah, let's go fix that. Okay. Now, of course, but I'm just going to get straight to the crux of the issue. People will say, okay, but Sommi, why doesn't he let anybody know he's fixing it? And I will refer to you to the 15,000 times I've told you there is zero upside to putting your name on a stable coin. Nikolai is dead. Do you understand? They literally unalive you for doing this and putting your name on something. So you got to do it without your name, anybody's name. Anonymous, in the shadows. Who made Bitcoin? Satoshi, or maybe a group of people. Doesn't matter now. Doesn't matter. Do you see? Let's listen to Richard Hart again. Let's listen to him. Let's listen to him again. It's going to be a bit low, so we'll have to listen carefully. Maybe crank it up.
Telling me the cool stuff they're going to build. Somebody says that they're building a MakerDAO replacement so that we have like DAI on PulseChain. Or at least they say they are. Like, these are things people have told me in phone conversations I've had with them. So I've had these on voice. So maybe.
So he says literally somebody's telling me they're building a MakerDAO replacement, and he spoke to them on the phone. Let's actually go through the big news, friends. Alert. Okay, so let's read my news, then we'll go through a detail. Alert. PulseChain pioneers have just deployed a new flash loan contract that interacts with PulseChain's compound assets, PComp, okay? This can do some funky things. 1, clean bad debt. 2, liquidate positions. 3, clean collateral. Now, mans, what I'm now going to do is I'm going to now confirm friendship with you. This video you're watching right now is a follow-up of the amazing things we've figured out and we've seen now because of my previous video, PulseChain, the next mysterious chapter of pDAI. The movie. Now, so this is the video, friends, about the Trinity. Do you remember the Trinity? And something is happening here. So this is a follow-up of these. And I'm actually going to give you the ChatGPT. We actually put it, AI has summarized everything that was basically hinted at back then. So with this new update, right, they've deployed a new flash loan contract. One of the mechanisms that can be activated is a repurchase of pDAI to clean the bad debt. I'm not sure how it all works due to my peanut brain size, but I can tell you that my nipples are quite raw from the pegging ritual they've endured. My band-aids are ready. Of course they're ready, friends. Or born ready, baby. Ha! You see that? Let's listen to Mr. Decentralized. Let's actually have a read of what he says here as well, because he summarized it right pretty good. Look at this. 99 Capital and Sir Korn have found the pioneers deployed a new flash loan contract interacting with Compound. Flash loans let the pioneers restructure debts instantly. They clean up bad debt, liquidate, and rebalance. Liquidating Compound positions could trigger a cascade of arbitrage and liquidation flows that drive pDAI to $1. If this is indeed the liquidation engine for compound vaults, it suggests we're entering the execution phase of the peg. Or maybe it's not called a peg because it's outside of the Genius Stablecoin Act. It's called a ping pong, okay? It's pinging and ponging, okay? It's not an actual real government peg, all right? Pegs are for stablecoins. This would be a ping pong coin. The pioneers have activated zero-knowledge proofs on PulseChain. Once Exodus mode, take note of this word, friends, Exodus. Once Exodus mode is called, no centralized actor like a sequence can censor, delay, or manipulate transactions. This lets them carry out the peg without front-running, sniping, or public visibility. This is the final decentralization lever that they can pull, suggesting everything is ready behind the scenes. So friends, he is replying because 99 Capital made a post. All he wrote was activate Exodus mode. It's actually like this code transaction stuff. Now, what I'm going to do now, friends, is, okay, I'm going to now show you the ChatGPT prompt from Sir Nathaniel. Okay, friends, he's not a cat, he's not a squirrel, he's not a duck, and he's not an eagle, and he's not a pigeon either. He's a dog. Sir Nathaniel the dog ran this through AI. This is actually awesome. So he summarized, hey, all these things about the Trinity and the Layer 2 chain and this Exodus mode. Give us what's actually happening. Look what it says. PulseChain pDAI Liquidation Apocalypse. What happens if PComp, PARVE, PBAL, and UWU face a system-wide liquidation? Trillions in pDAI debt could spark chaos or a mega pump. Now, I just want to show you this picture again, friends. Do you remember this is the picture I made this early in the year to show you? This is all on-chain, okay? You have MakerDAO, Aave, Curve. These are all the PulseChain versions of them, and they're all connected. And notice how there is the pDAI logo in the middle. It's connecting all of these. So all of them are on-chain, okay? That's why, friends, the whole debate is, see, this is all on-chain and we can see it. People who are haters of pDAI, they don't believe, they're non-believers, the infidels, friends, they see all these things and they see it's totally random. And what I believe, this is me, I can go to zero for a third time. What I think is, I don't think people randomly start building bridges in a city unless they have a vested interest in the city being pretty big. That's what I'm pretty much doing. It's kind of like, you know, you basically imagine you walk to a patch of grass out there in the middle of Africa and then you see somebody starting to build a water well. He builds like a chicken coop, and then someone starts building like a building, okay? Some people might say, oh, look at this African tribe. They're just building something random, okay? That's what the haters and infidels have concluded. I've concluded, oh, I think someone's trying to build a city here, okay? That city is enhancing pDAI, okay? Let's see what ChatGPT continues. So remember, friends, conceptually what we're going to read about is there's these protocols out there, and they have a debt in pDAI. Once we flip that switch, the Exodus mode or whatever actually goes through. I don't know exactly the exact buttons, but once the buttons are pressed, these things get force liquidated. And to repay their liquidations, they have to grab DAI from Ethereum, which is now pDAI. They have to buy pDAI. Okay? They have to buy pDAI. But here's the thing. I don't know how they get their funds. The funds are loaded anonymously. That's why it's like, hey, who's loading these funds? I mean, the example I used for you, I think earlier today in Juicy News, okay, it's the exact same, friends. Imagine let's say there's a bridge. There's a bridge, let's say from your land to get to across the river. You have to build a bridge. Imagine you had a vault, which whenever somebody planted a brick to connect the bridge, they could take a photo of the brick, send it to this machine, and the machine gives them money. And now you're wondering who loaded the vault to pay people to build this bridge. Okay, it's same conceptually thing. So here is ChatGPT. Here is a 4-phase breakdown. Number one, the trigger. It says Ethereum and Bitcoin, right? They crash 50%. This is the PulseChain version of them, which is Pulse, the ratio. So I don't know exactly how. Does that mean a Pulse is going to drop 50%? I don't know. The oracles will flag thousands of vaults as unsafe because the collateral is too low. The arbitrage bots wake up, gas spikes, and the network braces for impact. All right? Does that mean there's going to be a cataclysm, like we just send Pulse down 50%? Is that what happens? I don't know. Cascade. The bots will liquidate en masse, buying pDAI to repay the debt and grab 5 to 10% collateral discounts. So then there's rewards paid out. pDAI pumps and they go up to like 1 cent, PulseX volume explodes, dominoes fall across protocols. Remember, it's ChatGPT's estimates of the prices. Okay. Number 3, resolution. Incentives. There are emissions and bonuses. Emissions means inflation rewards, right? The pull bots in. Incentives will pull the bots in. Remember I told you that imagine you had this theoretical bridge where you had a vault and you like paid people money to like lay one brick at a time. That's what they're saying. These vaults on chain, they are like paying people one brick at a time. These bots will get pulled in. pDAI demand surges. MakerDAO auctions for PulseChain Maker. The peg to 5 to 10 cents is possible if collateral holds. Exploits could derail. All right, so if things went smooth, these vaults somehow gets this pDAI up in price. So, you know, what ChatGPT says. Of course, ChatGPT can be very wrong. The aftermath. Bull case. So there's a bull and a bear case. pDAI can peg. The TVL booms. Pulse booms and pumps. Pulse pumps. PLS. The bear case. Slippage kills. Bad debt spirals. pDAI dumps. Winners are bots and token holders versus losers, borrowers. Wild ride. Thin liquidity and past exploits means there's high risk. Very interesting. So he was actually replying to, remember, 99 Capitals here. In the event of a forced liquidation. So that's what 99 Capital says. In the event of a forced liquidation, the PulseChain whole ecosystem-wide demand for pDAI would be enormous. All these bots have to repay the debts. So this is, friends, what I'm now going to do. My friend, Mr. Dirty Crypto, he's made some posts here, which is awesome. Okay, we're going to read through it. So he now, see, friends, this was the Exodus mode. We have it here. Activate, he has a joke here. Activate Goblin mode. All right, so context by now. Now, friends, this is the funniest part. So let's actually read this. Do you remember the Vietnamese kid, wallet 5996? The Vietnamese kid wallet, okay, it's not Vietnamese kid, obviously, friends, it's the PulseChain pioneer, but the whole of PulseChain thinks it's a Vietnamese kid. That's why we make the funny premise. Why pDAI is so cheap still is most of the chain thinks a Vietnamese kid pretended to be a girl, sent feet pics to Richard Hart as a joke, and then he installed the Trojan virus, and the Vietnamese kid, instead of stealing millions of dollars that moment, he basically constructed a 2-year PSYOPs plan to front-run stablecoin SuperCycle on the chain, mint pDAI, and screw around with everybody. So what do you think is likely? Do you think maybe it's a PulseChain pioneer in charge, or do you think it's really a Vietnamese kid who convinced Richard Hart, who was actually like a hot lady? You know what I mean? So that's why you look at the premise, because that's literally what they believe. Okay, now it's not the feet pics part, that's the joke, but it's kind of like, okay, the only way for this person to mint 2 days before PulseChain launched is they had access to the servers or somewhere to do it the whole time, and no one noticed. Oh my gosh, who's got control of my chain? Like it. See what I mean? Friends, it's kind of like if, let's say you have a backyard and you've got 3 lemon trees, and then next week you notice somebody has like planted a giant mound and they're growing like an orange tree. You know? And imagine you're like, you look at that, you're like, huh, I wonder who planted this orange tree. You know what I mean? Maybe you live with your wife at home. You're like, huh, is it the wife? No, I know who it could have been. Imagine you concluded, oh, a thief broke into my home, and instead of stealing my Casio watch, my orange juice machine, my squeaky chair, instead of stealing these $1 million plus valuable items, they went to my backyard and planted a tree. Yes. Do you see how like ridiculous that premise sounds? That's exactly, metaphorically, that's what people are saying for PulseChain. That's why people still believe that narrative. But who cares? They'll understand what's going on when the price is higher. All right, let's actually check a quick look. The pDAI price is around 0.38 cents. So hopefully we do get friendship and kindness and we go back up to 3 cents. Man, friends, I can't wait, man. If pDAI goes back to 3 cents from Gravestone Emoji Day, that will mark 113x. Woo! Return, man. I'm gonna be euphoric. Literally got 100x. Yo, there's a buy and burn on Hyperliquid. Oh, there's a Solana stream coin. Suck a fat one. This ain't no 20-cent lottery ticket you're getting rugged. We had long, multi-paragraph, dozens of videos, theses, okay? Pegged nipples, raw. We even have freaking logos on a necklace, bro. Where's your streamer coin Khara necklace logo? Because you don't believe in shit because they all freaking rug. First cycle unicorn. If it works out. Or it could go to zero. I don't know. Let's continue. Dirty crypto. By now you should know that Wallet 5996 Viet Dong took over Arbitrum Layer 2 on PulseChain and upgraded it. We can't see what's going on there until we get an Arbitrum Explorer. We speculate that the pDAI collateral and protocols exist there and will be revealed. So just to let you know, friends, so Viet Dong, remember the Vietnamese kid, what the wallet's actually done is it's now building stuff and connecting to Layer 2 chain. That's why 99 Capital introduced this terminology of PulseChain Layer 2. So once again, friends, like this Vietnamese kid, dude, this kid is such an elite level scammer. Instead of stealing millions of dollars, now his plan has changed after 2 years. He's now building. He's like, I know. Let's go build the Layer 2 chain to connect for PulseChain to enhance pDAI. That's how I'm going to scam everybody. Friends, that's literally like, imagine. It sounds so stupid, but it's so true. What are the chances that a thief breaks into your home when you're on holiday and instead of stealing the millions of dollars in your vault, okay, instead of doing that, what he decides to do is he calls a construction company and he starts building an extension for your house. And he puts furniture in there. He gets a tiler. He builds you a bathroom. Do you understand how stupid that sounds? That's exactly what's happening here. So if somebody did that, are they really a thief? But you know, no one believes, friends, until they see the price higher. So that's why I'm telling you, you can, if pDAI, friends, if we do make it just to 3 cents, okay? I believe. You play back this video over and over and over again, spam it in their face. While I was literally telling you, bro, this is literally first cycle unicorn, okay? Peg nipple, elite tier crypto right here. On roll-ups like Z-Sync, Optimism, Arbitrum, or PulseChain variant, Exodus mode is essentially the escape hatch. So what is Exodus mode, friends? So he explains, right, Exodus mode, it's awesome. What it lets you do is, if the chain can't connect to the Layer 2, if the bridge is broken, Exodus is like a catapult, okay? So you can still get your redeemable pDAI if the chain can't even connect, okay? That's how awesome it is. Look at this. If the Layer 2 infrastructure, which is their sequencer or operators or relayers, if they fail, users can still withdraw their assets directly on Ethereum. This makes the system trustless. You don't have to rely on a centralized sequencer to release your funds. Do you see now, friends? When we're literally, friends, I'm telling you right now, you just watched Charlie Kirk get popped, bro. You say the wrong thing about the wrong government, they pop you, bro. They pop you and they convince the freaking population that, friends, have you seen the latest, funniest narrative about Charlie Kirk? The scum, fancy banana investigators and all these other, obviously, like these the paid Israeli type of like chaos, they're all saying, hey, the reason why you don't have an exit wound behind Charlie Kirk is because his body performed the miracle. They're trying to make people believe that. No one believes he's drunk. They go, oh, his body was a man of steel. He performed the miracle. He stopped the bullet. No, I think what actually happened is we know somebody else shot. It wasn't that random trans rage kid. You're just trying to knock lies. See the level of stuff they'll do just for questioning because you don't accept the bribe. Charlie Kirk didn't accept the $150 million bribe. They're trying to take over Turning Point. Do you see what happens? They just pop you straight away, bro. No questions asked. And look, we're not better humans. I'm not saying anybody's a better human, but we know, friends, we know when humans are given power, this is what they do. If you have access to power, you get a phone call from someone who says, hey, you're going to have to blacklist that person. Friends, Tether and USDC have already blacklisted $1 billion since January 2023. The real number is 950 million. It's about $1 billion. Already. They just get a phone call. Hey, blacklist this address. Okay, boop. You see? So if we give men, humans, we give us rockets and rocket launchers, we just start blowing everybody up. So we build crypto so you don't have the button, bro. We build this system so you don't have the button. We build it decentralized. Do you see the value of this? If you don't, you're a soy boy, blue-pilled cuck. And let me tell you something. I still have hope for you. The thing is, though, when you learn about this, the price is just going to be much higher. See? It makes the system trustless, friends. Dirty Crypto. In the past, I spoke about the possibility of Wallet 5996 making Arbitrum Layer 2 on PulseChain have a sequencer. I wonder if this is the case. Okay. Exodus mode with zero knowledge proofs removes sequencer power, ensuring withdrawals can't be censored, delayed, front run. The irreversible flip from a trusted bridge to a trustless rollup. It guarantees pDAI withdrawals to Ethereum, erases the identity of the peg maintainers, and seals off sequencer control. Do you know, friends, Layer 2, this is one of the criticisms our friend Ivan on Tech has of Ethereum Layer 2s. They're all centralized. They have just one sequencer. Coinbase, Arbitrum. They just have like basically one sequencer. I don't even know what it is. One computer. Where if this computer fails, it doesn't matter. They can just stop the computer. Yeah. But the layer 2 rollups that Ethereum have, Arbitrum and Optimism, they have phases where they become more decentralized over time. Yeah. That's why Vitalik was pushing everybody to do it. It's already built in the system. It's just that they're not ready to release their control yet. They're hoping to release their control over time. But I guess what Richard's done... Oh, no, sorry. Did I say the name? Gotta sniff some underwear. Whoever it is, the PulseChain pioneers, could be a Vietnamese kid. Wherever you are, Mr. Vietnamese kid, thank you for your service, making this so decentralized, okay? They've built this decentralized from the start. They've said, hey, let's just like accelerate the phase. Let's make it decentralized from the start. Now it's fully trustless. You can't turn it off. Yeah. Now you're probably wondering, why doesn't Arbitrum and Optimism do that? I think it's because they've got like a crap load of money on those chains and they're scared if something goes wrong, everything's bugged and ruined. Okay? They can't actually reverse anything. Right now, if there's a problem, you can still release the funds on the Ethereum side because it's a mint and lock thing. So if there's a problem, everyone still has their Ethereum. It can be released on Ethereum chain side. Okay? So obviously, look, I don't know exactly all the mechanics and the quirks beyond that, but that conceptually, that's what's happening. Also, more hints from Mr. Dirty Crypto, not to be confused with Mr. Clean Crypto, okay? Not post-showered crypto, Mr. Pre-showered. PulseChain, do you think Richard Hart made a full system state fork for Ethereum just for PHEX? Remember, friends, he made them for its world's biggest airdrop, bro. Hex holders got an airdrop. DAI holders got an airdrop. That's pDAI. Aave holders got an airdrop. pAave. Wrapped Bitcoin holders got an airdrop. PWBTC. World's biggest airdrop. That's what he made it for. Right? Now, friends, remember, I called it. I said, man, by the looks of it, looks like this the product market fit changed and it just failed. Remember, I made that video like a year and a half ago. The thing is, though, the vision was like so far into the future. Yeah. I guess no. I guess the world's biggest airdrop, it hasn't failed. It's just incomplete. That's why I thought, see, this is why I didn't know. Okay, now we know, look back in hindsight. I thought PulseChain was launching ready. No, PulseChain was launching like 5% complete. So we didn't think that because we had waited so long to be released. We thought everything's launch ready. It's not. World's biggest airdrop it's a work in progress. That's now what we see. But we didn't know that at the time because we had no idea. Well, some people did. Some of the early believers, but I had no idea. pDAI, PWBTC and stuff, they are a key integral part. Now you get to see, friends. Remember, friends, conceptually, just let's play some angel music for this, just for everyone out there. Why pDAI? Why pDAI? Why PWBTC? Okay? Product market fit, man. The world needs these things. Well, you need also, if you want to make the chain richer, right? Richer, it's funny, pun intended, right? In a bear market or the rest of crypto cycle, you need a Bitcoin, you need a US dollar, okay? Because when the global liquidity goes down, US dollar gets more rare, scarce. Everyone's paying off debts. That's the world recession contracting. And then PWBTC, when they kickstart the money supply again, Bitcoin goes up, okay? Well, you need them. But I guess Richard's doing his own twist. Well, not twist, enhancements. He's making them trustless. OIP, ownership, ownerless, immutable, permissionless. Okay, that's what we're making for them. Do you see, friends, the videos I played at the beginning, right? He's removing the counterparty risk. Remember, friends, we just saw Charlie Kirk, bro, we literally watch this time and time again. If there is a power line for a counterparty to influence something, either a person will directly do it or somebody will get a pistol, point it to your head and say, push the button. Step away from the soy. No, they won't tell you to step away from the soy. They'll tell you, drink the soy. Drink it. That's what they'll tell you to do. But if you have no line and no power button, you can't do anything. Who are they going to go after? Just like Bitcoin, friends. Bitcoin has no admin function. Who are they going to go after? They're trying to go after the Bitcoin developers now. You see, Roca Negra? They're trying to like infiltrate. But you got to think about that game. They're trying to do that when the chain's already, like, friends, cryptos now, Bitcoin's, 2 trillion market cap, right? So, like, that's what we're talking about. So, like, you invite that type of competition when you're 2 trillion market cap. There's like thousands of X higher. So let's continue as well for some words here from Mr. Pre-Showered Crypto. Let me say it again. It wasn't a regular fork of Ethereum. It was a full system state fork. Okay, 99 Capital. These are the things he's written before. Literally, this is 99 Capital. Literally, the first thing that RH did, Richard Hart, when he began forking PulseChain was to use his origin address bag to borrow all of the tokens from PRV pools. Up until now, I figured this was just to help set up PulseX. But then you hear about a concept like unwinding the fork, and it reads a lot different. Interesting. So, Mr. Pre-Showered Crypto. So, let me get this straight. Richard Hart had the hindsight of depleting the PulseChain RV pools during the fork process. But you believe him when he says he doesn't know much about MakerDAO. So, Richard Hart made a tweet. He's like, I don't know about this MakerDAO thing. It's this public tweet. So, obviously, friends, someone who's able to do this has deep, secret, intricate knowledge, which anybody could just learn themselves. But, you got to be a genius, I guess, to understand the inner workings of MakerDAO. Remember Richard Hart on his Twitter, he goes, oh, someone's going to activate this, like, the kill phase or the shutdown. They don't even know what the shutdown really does. That means he really knows what the shutdown does, Like, it could be something, it kills everything, but how does it kill everything? Oh, maybe it disables, like, these oracles, which you can replace. Like, I don't know about the inner mechanics and the quirks. People who are infidels, friends, non-believers, okay, they will then ask, right, what they'll say, well, okay, so what does it do? What happens? What does it really do? You explain. I can't give you the answer, bro. I don't know. And it makes them go mad. Because I don't give a shit. I really don't care. All I see is, pDAI, PWBTC. I see these things as alive. I don't have all the answers, bro. Friends, it's literally like they are Apostle Thomas. Do you remember Apostle Thomas, friends? Apostle Thomas, right? When Jesus died and he resurrected 3 days later, and Jesus is walking around, okay, he's walking around, he's pretty much on his skateboard, rolling around, and he's like showing his disciples, hey, it's me, all right? Apostle Thomas didn't believe. He could see it right in front. He's like, I don't believe it's you. And then what did Jesus got him to do? He says, hey, give me your finger, touch the flesh wound. Look at this picture. These famous depictions of Apostle Thomas, okay? Apostle Thomas, right? He's like where Jesus got pierced on the cross. And so that's why the story, it's a nice metaphor. Some people, friends, they literally, they need to, like, they really got to see it. Like, that has to be there, and they just don't. That's it. Otherwise, they just can't believe in it. And with most stuff, it's like that. With most things in life, it is like that, right? Friends, it's kind of like if I told you we had these ships that could fly in the sky, but you have no idea how physics works. You have no idea. You've never seen a plane. You know what I mean? Like, you have no idea. You actually got to see it. Like, if we went to the North Sentinel Island, the Voodoo Mama Jujus, where they're still pretty much, they do a bit of cannibalism there. They have no electricity. Yeah, they have no idea what the hell a plane is. You know what I mean? Like, that, you got to show it to them. Like, they have to get inside the plane to be, like, actually flying in the sky, because they have no idea, right? So that's what it is, right? Now, this is, friends, in life, many things are like this, okay? But we're in a special case. Why? Because in markets, we're allocating resources, which is the US dollar price, right? We're allocating prices and we're trading off emotions. Yes, this is why it's different. There's an actual marketplace for this. Price chart. You don't get this with anything else, pretty much. You know what I mean, friends? Like, for example, you don't have a vehicle. Like, if someone says to you, yo, dude, I just watched this movie. It's like really, really, really good. And you're like, okay, how good? Like, no, it's real good, man. It's really good, this movie. You have no idea to bet on it. You can't change your life financially at all. You see, it's just like but all you can't invest money into it. All you can do is invest time. So you can believe that someone said that the movie is good. So you go, okay, I'm going to invest 2 hours of my time and go watch that movie. And then you come out and you get a bit of a dopamine hit. You go, oh, that movie was great. You see what I mean? But then that's it. You get over it. And then what? Well, you've gained an experience, but it's in your mind. It's inside. You see what I mean? But with markets, we've got a vehicle now. It's like a sport. There's a scoreboard. We don't have a scoreboard with this other stuff. The scoreboard, it's theoretical. The scoreboard without the price chart, it's internal. It's, do you believe in something? Your experiences over time. You get why this is important? So it's amazing. It's a gift for us. We can actually bet on this stuff out here. Without this, we wouldn't be able to. It's just a bunch of people just talking about stories. Check this out as well. PulseChain. LibertySwap says RailGun is one of the most important pieces to pDAI. 300 million pDAI mysteriously resides on the Ethereum RailGun contract. On September 7th, they gave a 2-month window where they hoped to implement this protocol in PulseChain. It will enable true privacy with speed. Privacy is a fundamental human right? Earlier today, the pioneers initiated Exodus mode. Remember that, friends, from Exodus mode? It is a safety escape hatch on Ethereum. It uses zero-knowledge proofs to protect their identity and works towards decentralizing the sequencer. LibertySwap seems to be aware of this because they reference zero-knowledge proofs but admit it's slow and costly. What's the solution? RailGun. Very interesting. Here are the posts out here for further clarification. Very, very well done, sir. Great research from Mr. Dirty Crypto. So what we're actually saying, when I said all these things conceptually, we'll take a step back. This is Richard's dream of Hexico. We have privacy. Friends, this is so weird. Do you know, this is why this is weird? Because 2.5 years ago, I wrote, privacy was the secret weapon of PulseChain. Let's see if I can find the video. Wow. Yeah, I think, here it is, baby dolls. Here it is. OG, your friend Sommi. Wow, man. That's wild, friend. You got to admit that's wild. Because I'm here 18 hours a day. You know, I'm here 18 hours a day. I don't know why. I guess I was right. It really is a secret weapon. And actually, it's giving me a trip down memory lane, friends. This video I made, literally, I've gone through. I've just made a quick post. This is OG, your friend Sommi. Look at this stuff. Hey, baby dolls. It's a spirit of Christmas. Wow, man. So, wow, this was actually crazy, man. This is 2 years ago. I believed this was even before PulseChain launch or whatever was going on. Maybe it was even the end of 2022. Yes, it was talking about, I forgot exactly when it was. Yeah, friends, I even have this stuff here. Look at this. I have Richard Hart tweeting about privacy, where he goes, Ethereum privacy. Financial privacy is a prerequisite for capitalism. Apparently, one can get privacy using ZK money. Try it. And then I even got stuff on his personality. I have even tweets here. One thing I know about Richard Hart is that his personality is heavily geared towards logic and problem solving. He won't even engagement farm tweet, thankful to Satoshi. I guess that's what people are saying. Look at this. And friends, I've written about here. I even have this interesting part here where I've written, if you can see these different camps here. Look at this. Right here. Can you even make a better Ethereum? Maybe it's with privacy, right? So that's what I conceptualized. I go, well, how is he going to make a better Ethereum? Don't have all the liquidity. And I just thought, well, the guy likes privacy. So Maybe that's how you make it. You have actual privacy solutions. Camp A, privacy is a human right. Camp B, haters. RH is going to use the origin address to pump the PulseX coins using his Pulse stack and also give yield to PulseX stakers by spamming transactions. That's what the haters were saying, what he's going to try and do, right? So obviously, it looks like all of this is actually playing out. It's very interesting, friends. I literally, man, this was like ages ago. You got to remember, friends, remember, like I've told you many times, say, it doesn't mean like I'm not special or anything, you know what I mean? Like anybody can do this in any field. You have to go literally, you spend all your time on it. All your time on it, and you're trying to close the information asymmetry gap over and over and over again, because the more you can get into something, and if you figure out that there's some substance there, you no longer have to throw in a lottery ticket into something, because your odds of this thing succeeding, it's no longer like 30% like, or 50% like what most people think. Or even if you think if it does succeed, it's not like a 3x payoff or a 2x payoff. Like people buying Binance Aster at $1 or something, right? With this, I'm like, oh, wow, the potential is 100. So the potential is 100 or 50. It's a huge number, right? So it's worth... See, it doesn't necessarily mean it's a guarantee. You're just trying to look for these games where tails you lose, but heads, you're going to win $10, $100. Okay? You look for that game. And tails, you lose only $1. So yeah, friends, it would be nice if there was your friend Sommi for like every single sector out there in crypto. Yeah, it would be nice, wouldn't it? There isn't, though. There isn't. No one's doing this stuff. No one's doing this stuff. Or if they do this stuff, you get Arthur Gaze. I just showed you. Arthur Gaze makes a 120x price target for Hyperliquid, and then he just dumps the coin 3 weeks later. He literally just dumped everything in one click. So people just say these huge price targets, but they're not actually holding. That's what everybody says. Everyone says, oh, I've got a big thesis for you. This thing's going 1,000x, 100x. You know? Everyone says that about everything, right? So now you get to see this with a different light, friends. It's quite interesting that after all these years, it's all played out like this. You know, I've even written here, just as a summary, PulseChain Exodus mode is either activating or just discovered. In short, Exodus mode guarantees your DAI on the roll-up can always be withdrawn to Ethereum mainnet, even if the Layer 2 fails. It's a safety net for token holders, so your stablecoin isn't trapped if the roll-up stops functioning. Comment from Sir Korn. It adds another layer of decentralization and further removes the possibility of middleman control or smart contract exploitation. This adds to the pDAI prophecy. Here is a giant big fat cucumber. This girl, I don't know if she's AI or she's a real girl, can't tell these days. Here's me as Jigglypuff. Here's me and Richard Hart fighting off the soy boys out here. pDAI, your weapon against Wall Street out here. So it's quite cool to see this. That's why, friends, look, I don't know if these things are going to work out. It's just got a thesis. Is there a unique edge? Yes. There's first cycle unicorn. There's privacy is a feature. Privacy is a human right. You have all these themes around the world. You have these stablecoin. They have an insane product market fit. You need a natively decentralized stablecoin, which is exactly what we have. If pDAI works out, you do need that, because now USDT just can't shut off your whole freaking chain. Yeah, do you know, friends, you know how dangerous it is? USDC and USDT. You know, friends, the government, if they wanted to, they could just disable Ethereum for a year. You know that? They could. If the Coconut Intelligence Agency really wants, they could disable all the Tether and the USDC in all the Ethereum pools on Uniswap, and everyone's finished. You can't trade out of that. They're all disabled. And then if there's liquidations, everyone's direct. And then that gets disabled from the DAI pool. One button. They can do that. Now they probably won't do that, but they can. They can do that. See how dangerous that is? I don't think Richard Hart wants to build a chain where like one phone call to the USDC Jeremy Belair, who literally is he looks like a bug. He's literally, Circle CEO Jeremy, friends, he looks like a bug himself, okay? He literally looks like a caterpillar bug, okay? The Tether CEO, Paolo, as well, friends, like just, you can't trust him, dude. One phone call. He's starting to see now. If you don't, look, I know, friends, I can see it. I can see it. And maybe I'm just smoking crack, okay? Don't knock it till you try it, some say. I can see something. Maybe it's nothing. But I just promise you one thing, okay? All the people who hear this and they don't get it, I don't give a crap. Because I know there's only one way for them to get it. And you know exactly what it is, okay? they start seeing pDAI up at like 7 cents. And now suddenly they're your friend Sommi Maxis. That's what, friends, I'm totally 100% guaranteeing you I am going to get people messaging me, attacking me, spamming me when pDAI is at like 7 cents. And they go, all right, Sommi, I just threw 250,000 into pDAI at 7 cents, right? It's definitely going to $1, right? Yeah? You got Richard Hart on the phone call, right? It's definitely going there. I'm totally ready for that. And I'm going to be thinking, bro, oh, here we go. All over. That's it, friends. It's literally just the price. The price goes up, everybody believes. That's it. Okay? Because I know if you're new to markets, you think if you have a mad thesis, you think you measure the quality of your work by if people believe you or not. Okay? No, doesn't work like that, dude. I know new people are coming in. They think it works like that. Doesn't work like that at all. Okay? In fact, the bigger the opportunity, the less people will be able to understand what the hell you're talking about, which makes it very tough. That's why, friends, I'm here 18 hours a day. That's why I am the highest value content in crypto. You don't need to hit 15,000 home runs, Habib. You don't need to. You stick to your portfolio and you concentrate. Can you get information, asymmetry, and edge? Right? That's the game. You see the game now? So that's friends, I don't like when people, if someone says to me like, I didn't get it and that's stupid, or that's just silly and this has no basis. I don't go cry in a corner and say, oh, I've got to change my sentences to help these people understand. I tell them to suck a fat one, friends. They go, I don't care. It doesn't matter. They are the poor Krugmans, you know, like the boomer economists from just paid government shills. They're the Paul Krugmans of the world when Bitcoin is $200 and he's saying, oh, yeah, this thing just used for money and drugs is going to zero. Okay, you are that person. And now they're not saying it now. Now it's on BlackRock's balance sheet. Now you just got a new level of FUD now. You see what I mean? That's what happens. That's what markets do over time. Information asymmetry, okay? So we see it now. There is privacy. It is happening. Right? It's all being built. And what about the next phase? I'm excited. Are you? Like, subscribe, belly button all. Catch you in the next one.